Hello everybody, here for a permaculture plant profile on Potawatomi or Potawatomi. I'm terrible with my pronunciation, so I apologize, but rabbit beans. They're Native American tribe, native to Michigan, and while the rabbit bean is a variety of cowpea which comes from Africa, they somehow got a hold of it and adapted it to be their own variety, which is a wonderful thing in my opinion. You know, I've heard a lot of arguments about how they didn't need anything that was introduced, and need is a strong word, but they certainly were resourceful, creative people with a great amount of knowledge and willingness and skill to survive. So they used whatever they could get to the fullest extent they could. So here you can see these are an absolutely amazing variety. They produce very well. They can be picked at this stage and eaten as a green bean, though they're a little tough in my experience. So you don't want them as raw green bean in my experience. At this stage and a little bit later, they're great as a shelling pea. Should mention for most American viewers, cowpea is not what we call them here. We call them black-eyed peas. So they're not a true pea, but you can use them as green shelling peas, like at this stage. They take less time to cook, they're fresher, they're green. They make for a really great, healthy food. And cowpeas as a whole have been called poor man's meat. So they're very high in protein, especially if mixed with a grain. Most beans are not a complete protein on their own. You do need to mix them with a grain. But one thing I absolutely love about this plant is as it grows, it continues its whole life cycle from top to bottom. It is at the top of this young tree, and started off the film with these blooms. I should mention this is above my head, so filming it is quite difficult. I apologize if the view is bad, but this was planted in spring. Of course, it is an annual. They're a heat-loving species. They can scramble along the ground so much better than you'd think for a climbing species. So they have clambered and climbed. Look at those beans there at the base, but they've climbed all over here, competing with a lot of very weedy competitors, just like it's no problem at all. They're also climbing themselves, they're climbing each other, they're climbing a tree. Let me step over here for the final shot. But while this tree is literally in flower right now, it has simultaneously got a pod that will be dry in another few days. So, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, everyone, and I hope to see you in the next video as soon as I can. Goodbye, everyone.